Long before you even step in the airport ahead of your flight, the work behind the scenes is well underway.
We have dispatchers that see this in advance. They're reading the forecast.
And those forecasts can create all sorts of headaches, but the men and women in the cockpit are ready for any weather.
From the time I get up, and then it's usually the last thing I look at when before I go to bed is what's the weather going to be like tomorrow.
But beyond delays and cancellations, storms and severe weather can and do cause the unexpected to happen. So I'm getting my lesson in flight safety.
Exit row is good for tall people, but the hatch is not.
Drop it! Come on!
Because if you ever end up in a situation like this, seconds matter for a safe response.
We know that investigation is going to take a while to complete, but from a weather perspective, it was blustery. We had winds, we had a nice tailwind, that wind moving west to east, but on approach, and given the investigation that what will probably be uncovered, look at the wind gust. We had at the time that this was landing, 40-mile-per-hour winds.
First responders are versed in helping you make a safe escape. I'll be riding with the airport rescue firefighting crew at Newark Airport to see the response up close. We learned all about turbulence plus airport and airline operations, but now it's time to explore just how bad weather impacts flying, what happens if you're stuck flying in it, and what the crews want you to know before you check your bag and get comfortable in your seat. I've gotten my chance at piloting an aircraft, and now I better understand the challenges that pilots go through to ensure a safe flight. I'm constantly in tune with the weather from coast to coast, and so are the men and women responsible for managing airports and airspace across America. The recurring theme from everyone we've been talking to is that weather is often the most challenging part of operating a seamless flight. Delays and cancellations can become a major domino effect, and the first piece that falls is almost always weather.
Those ripple effects can be severe, so the magnitude of what happens up here in the Northeast, in the New Jersey, New York region, here at Newark Liberty, and then our sister airports, LaGuardia and JFK, if it doesn't work well here, the rest of the country is going to feel it, right? So if we have impacts, the entire national airspace system has impacts.
But just because the weather outside your window looks good doesn't mean that you won't have to still deal with delays, cancellations, and overall frustration because of Mother Nature.
You know, blue sky day, totally fine. We want to make sure that customers understand that there could be impacts along the way, even if they're not something that they can really see and feel here at Newark.
Airspace in America is very busy, with an average of over 44,000 flights managed by the FAA every single day. On any given day at peak times, the FAA could be handling as many as 5,500 aircraft in the sky. That's at any given time. Add a little bit of bad weather in any part of the country, and the challenges begin to stack up.
Well, the weather, now if it's right on the field and that airport shuts down due to thunderstorms and so forth, that'll shut down all the traffic coming into there. And then that's when the flights start canceling.
It's a lot like getting a reservation at a restaurant, right? If I want to leave Greensboro and go to Miami, but there's a string of weather across, northern Florida, there's going to be less reservations open. So I'm going to have to wait longer for my reservation. Because if I take off right now, they're not going to get me all the way to Miami, and I'm going to have to fly circles in the sky and just wait for my turn up in the air.
And if given clearance for takeoff during bad weather, pilots are taught extensively about how to handle it.
One of the things we tell people is you'd much rather be down here wishing you were up there than up there wishing you were down here. As a pilot, you gain that experience over time, you manage the weather. We have a lot of forecasting and a lot of instruments that help us go around the weather.
Pilots have a multitude of ways to manage bad weather flying. From the tools in the cockpit to pre-flight weather briefings, they're ready.
We have dispatchers that see this in advance. They're reading the forecast. That's one thing that takes the captain doesn't have to do, is do the flight planning, but he observes it, and if he disagrees, he'll make a call, and he corrects it. You see something you want to avoid, use captain's authority. You tell the air traffic controllers, you don't have to ask. These guys are not traffic cops. They work for us. And you tell them, says, we need 10 degrees left to deviate for turbulence. And that's their job, is to give it to you.
I got an example of a weather briefing when I visited Farmingdale's Aviation Center out on Long Island, New York.
I gotta ask you, I see you flying around on this thing. You're not a real meteorologist unless you've got all your bookmarks set up and you can click and it's a 5-second thing getting to all your spots. Do you have certain things that you're just straight up like a checklist? I need to see this before I fly?
Absolutely. So I like to start small and then build the flight as it goes on. So the first thing I do is look at, hey, what are current reports?
Right.
The next thing I'll look at is, hey, what's going to happen in, say, 2 hours around our airport? So this is called a terminal aerodrome forecast. And this will tell you, hey, later on in the day, what's the weather going to be doing? So right now they're saying, hey, in a few hours, winds are going to go down to 8 knots. We're still going to have great visibility, +6 statute miles, and maybe there will be a few clouds at 5,000.
And just as important as getting a weather briefing before taking off is knowing the capabilities of your aircraft, whether in a small prop plane like I flew in or in a big 777.
Different airplanes have different capabilities. Knowing your airplane is really important as a pilot. So knowing what the limitations are on your airplane. Can I fly when the wind is this fast? Or if certain conditions exist, like icing conditions or low ceilings, is the airplane certified to go into really bad weather and low visibility?
But even if the weather looks bad to you as a passenger, whether it's unexpected or not, pilots are trained rigorously to navigate it when they have to.
You have to think about the men and women in the cockpit. This is not their first rodeo. You're going to be on a plane from Charlotte to New York for 2.5 hours. Joe has flown 25,000 hours, okay? He's been there, done that. I would say look to your flight crew, your flight attendants. They've done this for hours and hours. So aviation in the United States is one of the safest travel forms that you can do. So even though the weather outside might be bumpy, what it all comes down to is that control, that experience, and the landing.
Weather is inherently complex, and when you add those complexities to the aviation industry, it can be overwhelming. But it's nothing that the industry isn't prepared for.
From the time I get up, and then it's usually the last thing I look at before I go to bed, is what's the weather going to be like tomorrow. Forecasts have gotten so much better that our official aviation forecast only goes out about 24 hours and it updates every 6 hours.
And those forecasts include things like microburst, thunderstorms, icing, and everything in between that pilots may encounter in their travel.
During the spring, you have thunderstorms that are building up, and that could be a problem. Severe rain, summer with the microbursts and the hard rain. Sometimes the rain is so hard it's like a curtain. It drops the visibility to like hundreds of feet, and you want to avoid that too.
Joe mentioned 2 critical weather scenarios for pilots: microbursts and low visibility. In microbursts, the initial headwind increases lift, which causes the plane to rise above the intended path. The violent sinking of the air in the downburst pushes the plane down toward the ground. That causes the aircraft to sink further as a tailwind reduces speed and lift. And in low visibility conditions, the height of the cloud base can make it difficult for a pilot to land safely. Rain and even dense fog can make visibility extremely low. That can obstruct the cockpit's view of the runway, which is when pilots would have to rely on their instruments. Another big weather problem, especially around the holidays, is snow and ice.
Snow operations is a very large operation. We do a lot of preparedness for that. We meet with everyone on airport, have meetings prior, look at all the various weather forecasts to see what is actually coming and how do we staff appropriately for that, right? We look at rate of fall, storm duration, all that will influence what we do in terms of what equipment we use, how many staffing we have here.
We saw some of the equipment.
Yes, absolutely.
Giant machines.
Correct.
There's 14 of those to keep the runways clear.
Absolutely, and the multis are pretty much our workhorse in terms of snow operations. They can broom, they can plow, they can de-ice. All of it is done, and it's very helpful.
And it's not just runway conditions, it's de-icing operations as well. De-icing is done when frost, snow, slush, or ice begins to accumulate on airplane surfaces when temperatures are down below freezing. The time it takes to de-ice a plane can vary, but it can range from 15 minutes to an hour, depending on the size of the aircraft. Aside from knowing the weather and responding to it, communicating relevant information to you, the passenger, is just as important. Not everyone is a frequent flyer, but pilots and flight attendants do what they can to calm everyone's nerves.
When I watch the people come in, some of them are kind of nervous.
Yeah.
And they make a few cracks. And I talk to them on the way out. I get busy and I do other things. I want to make sure the flight is properly prepared and just let them board, and then I'll do my talk. And then everybody seems to be calm. All my years of flying, I haven't had anybody get upset back there at all. And then when they get off, they're real happy.
When I come back, it's time to learn what happens if weather forces an emergency landing. I'm getting a lesson in safety.
Exit row is good for tall people, but the hatch is not.
There's no worse feeling than packing for your trip and knowing that weather may derail your plans. But whether a frequent flyer or a first-time flyer, we often look to our flight attendants for reassurance when the ride gets bumpy. And one of the things that makes Triad Aviation Academy unique is that aside from training pilots, they also train flight attendants.
We are in our training hangar right now, so we have a mock setup of an aircraft, and this is for our flight attendant training program.
Flight attendants, like the pilots, are crucial in communication when bad weather strikes, and that's something they're trained for, including at TAA.
The briefing we'll give the flight attendants, I basically talk about turbulence, and if there's a de-icing delays the turbulence that they're going to have to deal with en route, so they can know when to take the card out. That's what we do as a pre-flight briefing.
The way that I describe it is kind of, there's going to be waves in the water, there's waves in the air. It just takes time to smooth out, and we'll eventually get through it. And the pilots are fully aware of where the weather is, and if they could go around it, they will. But for the most part, it's really just unsteady air that we're in right now that we'll get through in just a few moments usually.
And sometimes that communication involves some disappointing news for the passengers.
Once I have everybody seated and I'm ready to shut the door and go, I do a captain's announcement to the passengers. Just them hearing the captain's voice and hearing me in a calm manner explain the weather's going to be good. There may be a small amount of turbulence at cruise. I'll inform the flight attendants and they'll have the carts put away.
Let's talk about the cart.
Okay.
It's got all the good stuff.
All the good stuff,
Folks
yes.
are looking forward to seeing this come by, unless it can't. And that would be if bad weather restricts that, right? This is a heavy unit.
Right. So this is a full-size cart here. These can weigh anywhere between 200 and 300 pounds fully stocked. So this is definitely not something that you're going to want in the aisle for passenger or crew safety, of course, because they do lock, of course, but as you can see, it still
How's
isn't
that call
100%.
getting made? If you're in the middle of service and it has to be stopped, is that call coming from the cockpit?
Yeah, typically if you're in the middle of service and that happens, it's probably something unexpected. So at that point, the captain or the first officer didn't have time to tell you. It was just some sort of unexpected turbulence. But then you just kind of feel it out. A lot of times passengers will kind of help you steady the cart as well, which is awesome. But usually we have to make our own decision on that. If it keeps going, maybe the guys in the front, girls in the front are busy and just didn't ring us or tell us, call us, whatnot, or turn the seatbelt sign back on. So we'll just kind of make that call. And usually, of course, the crew's going to back each other.
And if the situation gets so bad that it forces an unexpected landing, those flight attendants will be ready to spring into action.
We have an overwing emergency exit hangar that will have the students do a quick little drill, pull their actual life vest out. Once they get instructed to do so, they'll inflate them. So it's always a fun activity that we hope that we never have to use.
Now I'm going to get a look at how this all works in case weather ever does cause an emergency landing on a flight I'm on.
All right, Katie, I'm a long legs guy, so the exit row is the place that I want to be. And I always just say yes, and I don't really know what I'm saying yes to. I probably should.
It's very important, yes. So the exit row, we put what we call ABPs. So those are able-bodied persons. So these are gonna be people that have the physical ability to get out and assist other people to get out of the window exits.
So what's that process like? We've made a water landing, I suppose. How does this sequence play out?
Yeah, so the flight attendants would come over and brief you. Hopefully we have a planned emergency is what we call, so it's just kind of an unexpected landing and something happened. They're gonna come over and tell you what to do, how to assist and open this door here. And they're gonna say, as soon as the plane comes to a stop, that's when you're gonna get the verbal command from your flight attendants to release your seatbelts, grab your life vest if you're over water or in water. You're gonna go ahead and put your life vest on first since you're sitting in this window seat. As soon as you have your life vest on, you're gonna open this door, you're gonna step outside on the wing, and then you're gonna assist others to come out. And then these two other or several other ABPs, the able-bodied persons, they're gonna be assisting the rest of the passengers to get out.
It feels weird, but this is a situation where you have to help yourself first so you can help others.
Yeah. They don't say put your mask on before helping others for a reason. You know?
Right.
So that's a lot of truth to it.
So let's do it.
Okay.
I'll pop this thing off first and
Okay,
foremost.
so we've landed, right? You're gonna release your seatbelt, you're gonna grab your life vest. It's gonna be in between the armrest or in between your seats, depending on your aircraft, of course. And then you're gonna pull and open from the plastic. Yep. Take it out. Unfold it, of course, and slip it over your head.
Here we go.
Yep. And then you're gonna tie the strap around your waist. So yours is
Pop
new.
this.
So yep, you're gonna pop that strap, wrap it around your waist, clasp it. And one of the most important things to remember is you're not gonna immediately pull your red tabs because you have to inflate the life vest outside of the aircraft.
Got it.
Just in case your aircraft's filling with water, or they are very big, and this door is not very
that big. Yeah.
So you always want to inflate your life vest outside of the aircraft. So from here, we'll stand up, and if you can, and pull this, and then slip on out, so you'll slip into the wing.
This is the next thing, a situation that you would never do unless you were in the worst of circumstances.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely. You're gonna get specific commands from your flight attendant, your crew members, yes.
So what are those commands?
So each airline is different, so we kind of just have to keep it generic. So we'll just say, you release seatbelts, put your seatbelt on, and then your immediate cue for you specifically, I guess it's kind of like an unspoken, because you've already been briefed on that, you're gonna open this. So you just simply pull this, and it's gonna be an automatic hydraulic lift there. And then you'll step outside this little exit.
Exit row is good for tall people, but the hatch is not. All right.
And then
Time to. It's the one thing I've always said, do not pull the red lever. Well, here we go.
And in the event of a landing that requires emergency response, airports are prepared for that too. At Newark Liberty International Airport, the Port Authority Police Department handles that effort.
You guys are doing important work in here. Tell me about ARF. What does it stand for? What do you do?
ARF stands for Aircraft Rescue Firefighting, and we're here for when the planes come in and have emergencies, engine fires or hydraulic problems, anything like that. So the planes land and we're out there ready, put out any fires, make sure people have a safe escape.
So day to day, you're planning for worst case scenarios.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Because most planes carry, 100 to 200, 300 people, so we're there to provide a safe escape for them.
Coming up, I'm taking a ride in one of the Port Authority's emergency response vehicles. If you thought the snow removal vehicles were cool, wait until you see this. When a flight makes an emergency landing, we don't necessarily know right away if it was caused by weather, even if the weather doesn't look good at first glance.
Traffic! Come on!
In February of 2025, Delta Connection Flight 4819 was traveling from Minneapolis to Toronto when the plane landed hard, but upright on the runway. The sequence of failures during the rough landing led to the plane flipping over and coming to a stop upside down.
Plane should be able to
I agree with you.
land
They say
in
the
the
pilots
snow.
are trained for that. So
Right.
This weather is a big part of the investigation.
It's
but you're
going to
right. He came down hard.
It was a hard landing. Winds, though, were gusty. We had high wind warnings in the Northeast, of course. I will say, though, weather it will be something that's looked at pretty closely.
Yeah.
Investigators are still working to determine if weather played a role in that sequence of events. But one of the things you notice in the videos from the immediate aftermath is the first responders. At major airports, there are emergency teams waiting in the wings if there's a call for help. At Newark Airport in New Jersey, that would be the ARF, or Airport Rescue and Firefighting, which is part of the Port Authority Police Department.
We are staffed 24/7, so during a tour you have anywhere from 15 to 20 guys on hand to deal with these fires, or emergencies rather.
William Finch is a member of this team and its impressive fleet of equipment ready to mobilize.
So these are Oshkosh trucks. They carry 3,000 gallons of water, and we can, and also they carry foam, and we can shoot out water and foam to put out the fire.
I've gotten to try out a flight simulator and a real plane. I decided to hop into one of these trucks too to learn just how Port Authority's ARF team trains for any situation.
You can hear the radio go off. When it's a busy day, it's pretty wild. You got radios going off, you're trying to listen.
These rapid response vehicles can carry 1,500 to 3,000 gallons of water in addition to other agents used in emergencies.
Instead of using the trigger, we could do that.
Wow.
And it's just, you can have ground control. You don't have to be on top of the fire, which is good.
How are you deciding what method to use to fight the fires?
When we get on scene, we're going to assess. Because we may get a call over the radio stating one thing, and then you're coming on something else.
Okay.
So you can have a fire, then all of a sudden the brakes are hot. Now the wheel might be smoking. So usually with the brake fire on a tire, you want to bounce the water off and direct, cool it down.
It's not every day that you would see these at the airport, and that's a testament to aviation being a safe mode of transportation.
Aviation in the United States is one of the safest travel forms that you can do.
Next time on Turbulence. Just like improvements in safety are always evolving in the aviation industry, so is the industry itself.
We've seen a lot about what's happening in the industry right now, but this facility represents the future of it.
Exactly right. In this facility, we reimagine the future of aviation. We are looking into the future where we fly from Raleigh to New York instead of an hour within a matter of 10 to 15 minutes.
And one day, you could even have an airplane without a pilot.
The future flight is definitely unmanned.
Robots, computer systems, they're much less affected by adverse weather than humans are.
I'm heading to North Carolina State University to trade in my pilot wings for a lab coat to learn all about the next flight.